Sam Mitchell has made some controversial moves that could potentially cost Hawthorn a final spot. Let's get into it. But first, let's look at last week's game against Fremantle so I can explain why these are bad moves. First of all, Hawthorn are mostly lacking in the on-ball department. Their biggest weakness right now is on-ball. Apart from Newcombe, everyone else is quite average. In last week's game against Fremantle, we were up 13 points at three-quarter time and then choked in the last quarter, not scoring a single goal. The two main reasons for that were Cam Mackenzie being subbed out and then Connor Nash being moved into the ruck. And after that, Hawthorn were essentially two on-ballers down in the last quarter, and you could tell because we were slow, sluggish, and yeah, like I said, we didn't kick a single goal in that last quarter. In my opinion, the right moves that should have been made were sub CJ off considering he had almost zero impact, and move Chol to the right considering he has zero impact up forward. But that move was not made, and Chol, Jath, and Mackenzie all had zero impact in the game against Fremantle, along with the midfield, who were essentially two on-ballers down, which resulted in a 0-goal last quarter and a loss to Fremantle. I know it's a small sample size, but with Will Day not playing, Hawthorn's midfield is seriously lacking, and then taking another on-baller or even two on-ballers out of the game results in a very unproductive last quarter. Most Hawks fans thought Sam Mitchell would identify this and make the correct adjustments, but unfortunately I don't think he has. So let's take a quick look at the lineup and what to expect against Port Adelaide this coming Saturday afternoon. 3 inclusions: Lewis in for the injured Chol, completely fine straight swap. Scrimshaw in for Jath. Yep, makes sense, Scrimshaw was ready to go, had a good stint in the VFL. Bailey McDonald, a straight swap with CJ would make sense. They have similar qualities running off half-back, so that makes sense. But it doesn't make sense to bring him in while taking out a midfielder in Mackenzie while we're already lacking in the midfield. It just doesn't make sense to me. I like Bailey McDonald, but why are we not bringing in a Huswaite or a Sam Butler? It just doesn't make sense to me. And at the same time, McGuinness is playing again this week. Don't have anything against Finn. He's going to be a great player eventually, but he doesn't fit into this team unless he's playing on the wing or half forward, defending or locking down the opposition half back. Then he just doesn't have a role, especially with the other quality players we have on this list. Look at these two pairs, McDonald and McGuinness, and CJ and Mackenzie. Be honest, if you're going into a finals game, which pair would you rather have? In my opinion, it's an obvious one with CJ and Mackenzie. They're both better right now and they have better future potential. And it makes no sense to me that you're not playing these guys, slowly getting them ready for the tough end of the season because we have a pretty tough draw. Why do you not play them against weaker teams in Port Adelaide who are undermanned this week and then Carlton next week and give them a couple games against lower quality opposition to slowly find their form again? Yes, they had horrible games against Fremantle, but it doesn't make sense to me that they're not playing right now, and here's why. How does Sam Mitchell expect these two to be ready, especially Mackenzie, against teams like Collingwood, Brisbane and Adelaide at the back end of the season and even going into finals? How can he expect them to get ready and be prepared for finals when he's not playing them against lower quality opposition? I understand we're at the pointy end of the season and it's sort of like, yeah, he's going to drop a few guys and send a message to the rest of the group saying, hey, you have to be on your game, you have to be at your best right now. But if he's not playing guys like this against a lower quality opposition to help them find their form, help them get back on their feet and find their best footy, how can he trust them to play against a Collingwood or a Brisbane in the finals? They're not going to be ready for finals. If they can't play, if he considers them not good enough to be in the side against an undermanned Port Adelaide and a Carlton, who are arguably a bottom 4 team right now, he can't expect them to be ready for finals and even perform against a team like a Collingwood or an Adelaide or a Brisbane. It just makes no sense to me. These are the next 2 weeks against the Power and the Blues are perfect weeks to get the young guys in, guys like this, like Mackenzie and Jath, who are sort of being consistent. They're sort of in the best 22 at their best, but not right now. But how are they supposed to find their feet if they're not versing the low quality opposition? It makes no sense. These guys will not be ready for finals, and it's going to hurt the team massively, I think. Now, let's look at the midfield going into the Port Adelaide game. Now, this is our best midfield, fully healthy. Day, Newcombe, Ward, Warple, Nash, and Mackenzie. Now, you're taking 2 of those guys out in Day and Mackenzie because they're both not playing this week. And then you're putting Nash to the ruck. So now you're down to 3 on-ballers. So, yeah, it's not looking too good. Yes, Dylan Moore can run on ball, but he's more of a spurt guy. He can play 5 to 7 minutes a couple times a game. But why have you not added Huswaite or Butler to this side? It makes no sense to me. We're going to struggle so bad against the Power. We're still going to win. But I don't think we're going to score more than a few goals in the last quarter, in my opinion. We're going to be so flat. We're going to be tired because we're lacking on ballers. Nash is going to have to be in the ruck, which means he's not going to be playing on ball. And, it just does not make sense to me. I'm sort of a bit confused right now. But Hawks fans, comment down below. Tell me what you think. I think it's going to be a real rough couple of weeks. And I don't know. I know it's a small sample size against Freo. We didn't score a single goal in that last quarter, obviously. But yeah, and now we're down an extra midfielder for the entire game, not just a half. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.